Together, the school grew up so much, and along with the school, it's my growth too. Nowadays, it has become a passion of ICSE, IGCSE, CBSE. State syllabus is the last option that very few parents will have. Before it was you write formative assessment every month, you write, and states you will have unit test, assignment, morning one test.
Hi, welcome to Slate, your very own school search engine that helps you find the best schools for your kid based on various filters and parameters. Today, we have Miss Lakshmi Sirisha, who's been with the DPS for almost 13 years and has 17 years of experience in teaching. She is currently the headmistress of primary section and is also adept at teaching mathematics. Let's speak to her and understand more about Delhi Public School Nadergul in specific, and also the general concerns that parents are likely to have while joining their kid in a school. Well, to begin with, you've been associated with school for more than 13 years now, and how's the journey been? How did it start, and how did the school also evolve along with you?
It's like together the school grew up so much, and along with the school, it's my growth too. Because being 13 years in the same organization, it's not that easy. Because being with the system, being with the organization, learning everything, and involvement of myself into the system is a very great challenge. And at the same time, I have to thank my management giving me more opportunities to prove myself or to give my services to the school. It's always an amazing experience, and every year is a learning. Every parent is a learning. Every child is more learning to us, because it's not a teacher teaching all the time. At times, a student teaches us with an experience. So that counts a lot here. So very happy to be in such a big organization and keep growing. I feel that I should be here. I will be here till my retirement time. So that's how we are committed to the work and to the school.
Great. We also wish you a very long journey with DPS from here on. And speaking about your experience, generally, what sort of concerns does parents come to you with while joining their kid? And what is your piece of advice for them on what are the factors that parents should be really particular about?
Yeah, first thing, parents have a difficulty in choosing the board, different types of boards. Nowadays, it has become a passion of ICSE, IGCSE, CBSE. State syllabus is the last option that very few parents will have. But now, majorly, the major crunch of children will be in CBSE. Very few nowadays, IGSE and ICSE schools are coming up. Very, very good number of schools are coming. But it is not the board that decides the child's future or his abilities or capabilities, whatever a parent talks. It's about the comfort zone. Maybe a child is very interested in the other PVA, or I mean to say art or music or dance or sports. So you cannot restrict the child only with ICSE. The child becomes an IIT or a child becomes an engineer. May not be like that. But being in a CBSE school or being in an ICSE school, board doesn't permit any child to restrict himself to only academics. It's beyond. So it is again the first concern about the parent is which board the child have to go. So what we suggest is, as such, CBSE is very comfort zone, because we tend to move them according to academics. Along with academics, we move them to sports or art or dance, music, wherever different skills that a child can perform. Because now it is not only academics. Previous generation, we used to concentrate only on academics. Okay, you're a topper, you're a first grader, state first, national first. Now it is not that. The culture is being changed. You cannot go only with an academics. It's like I have multiple talents, or my skill is under art, or my skill is in sports. So accordingly, we balance the child. And ICSE also, yes, fine, but to some extent, it is completely into academics, where the child can focus only into that, where a child is very much interested for an IIT, okay then. But even there also, as we come to know till grade 8, it was all the subjects, okay. But when it comes to 9 and 10 years, the child can take agriculture, can take any other skill course subjects. But when comparatively, I feel CBSE is a very comfort zone for any average child for that matter. So I think this will be a comfortable or a safe place for children to grow up along with their academics.
Fantastic. And since you're particularly dealing with the primary section and also in a CBSE school, the general concern that a lot of parents have these days is, what is this NEP, what are the rules, and what should be the age criteria for my kid to join in first standard and all. Can you throw more light on it? And do you have such norms being followed at DPS in terms of age restriction?
We do follow. but not exactly. We don't restrict ourselves, but yes, the child should be able to reach up to the standard of, if it is a 3-year-old kid, we start from a pre-nursery, which generally they call it as nursery and all. So for a nursery child, yes, the child should be a 3 plus, where 2.5 to 3 within a month of difference. Yes, if the child is able to identify simple things, color, or if a teacher talks, the child should be able to respond. So if that is the case, yes, we don't restrict much on age factor exactly. Yes, we restrict to 3 plus. Here and there with a month's difference, yes, we do accept it, keeping in mind the child's how well he can reciprocate to the teacher when he's talking to. And when it comes to NEP, NEP is nothing, just in our quote, people are so much talking about NEP, just a 3-letter word, but creating magic in every mind. It's just NEP in a simple short form, if I have to say. Study with a practical knowledge. That's all is NEP. When you learn something previously, when maybe my parents or your parents or their generation, it was a bookish knowledge. You have some books, you read these things, in exam time you will get these questions, so prepare. Now things are not like that. Practically, how much you apply in that is more important. So when I study a topic, where is practically in real-time application, where do I do it? That's all is NEP. Because when a child goes out of a grade 10 after schooling, the child should be able to decide himself, where do I stand? When a real-time situation comes, what is my education helping me? It's not that I learn something, I write my exam, I get an E grade. That's not the criteria right now. To live in such a with such a social networking, or with such a society where we are people are running with time, money, education, there's huge competition in the outside world. So when I send a child out of our school as a grade 10, when you pass out, you should be able to match up to these standards of outside. You should be able to face a real-time situation. That's all is anything. So anything that we teach with a real-time scenario. Okay, this is the case, what do we do? So that's all. So we include art, we include dance, music. A math class is taught with a dance. A science class is taught with a music. So a child may not be so interested in the subject, but inculcating these all extracurricular activities, the child puts up interest. So how well we can teach a subject, irrespective of the knowledge, irrespective of the interest of the child, how well we can connect within the class is what is important.
Got it. And with all this introduction of new aspects of teaching, I'm sure the assessment will also change, the process in which students are gauged.
Yes.
How's it going to be different from what it was before?
Before it was, you write formative assessment, every month you write, and states you will have unit test, assignment, morning one test even. But now what the new guidelines as such we do is, we before NEP there was a continuous curriculum assessment. The child should be continuously tested accordingly. The same was little bit remodified, where even a question paper, even a board grade 10 question paper is more of competency based learning. Another very fancy word nowadays moving here and there in the social media. Again, a competency based, what I said, is a real time application. You learn something, what is exactly can you apply in a real time situation? That's all is competency based learning. So it's not that you learn 5 answers, the 4th one will come in the exam, you write it, you get marks. So there we are not expanding the thinking process of a child. So what NEP or the assessment patterns tell us is, expand the thinking process of the child. You give the same question, same issue in the school, or a context or one scenario in the class. The application of that you test in the paper, so that is the child relating to that situation, what he learned or what he was taught. That's how we test. So coming to the exact pattern of assessment, we do have PA exams, which we call periodic assessment, for monthly assessment, then term-based. So this term-based helps the child, instead of learning all 15, the complete syllabus at a time, we divide it into 2. That's what CBSE suggested. So into 2 different segments, like how semesters pattern. So the same way we do have 2 terms, where the child is able to comfortably write both the terms in a good pace of time.
Got it. And all you spoke is for people who have already opted CBSE, but for those who are in a different syllabus, be it state or IGCSE, and if they have to get into CBSE from now, is it going to be more challenging, and how is the school going to support these students in this transition period?
I say that it is not that challenging. Maybe for a state syllabus child who is moving freshly to a CBSE, a little bit of time the child requires to adjust because of teaching pattern, maybe because of the questionnaire or the question papers that we create. But yes, we are all there to support teachers because we see the transition in children when they move from one level to another or one board to another. So for that transition period, we will have a bridge course. What we DPS generally follow is a bridge course, where from one class to another, when the child moves, that transformation period we do take care very carefully with a bridge course. So whatever is expected for next academic year, what they have learned in the previous academic year, we relate. So 1 week or 10 days of rigorous bridge coursing, or what is expected, a revamp of the same thing, recapitulation of the same thing. So that 10 days will help even a child from state syllabus or an ICSE syllabus, whatever, from whichever board they come to, will be very comfortable with what we expect, what child needs to be ready with for the next academic year. I think that will help the child. So this is one very good course that we follow from years together. So this helps many children, and we support, because the major problems comes not with core subjects, with languages especially. So there we take definitely an extra mile to help the children to cover up that gap between the different boards.
Got it. And for all our viewers, can you tell us the admission process and also the cycle? In which month is the ideal to reach out to the school for admission?
Actually, yeah. We already started. We began with the admission process in the month of December. We start in the admission site. In our website, official website, we do have registration process. So once you register with the details, basic details of the age of the child, and then which class do you prefer, the details of the parents and the child do you fill, immediately the admission counselor, the team will immediately contact the parents, and then the admission procedure follows. So we do give a specific date at comfort of the child, parent, because everybody should be available, and there will be a written test in the beginning, not for a very primary level like pre-nursery, nursery. We do just check the basic understanding of the child, as we discussed. It's only is he able to respond, simple colors, or is he able to talk, is what we tested for a basic introduction child. So for a high school, for any level from grade 1 to upwards, we do have an admission test in the beginning based on their previous class. So if they are qualified for the admission test, and then a small interactive session with the senior teachers would happen. And then we do discuss with the parents.
Got it. And in the constraint of time, I'm not able to ask you more questions, but we look forward to meeting you once again and getting to know a lot more about DPS Nadergul in specific, and also the general concerns. Something that's on top of my mind is about this Montessori method of education, Waldorf method of education, because CBSE comes only after first standard, but the nursery, LKG, UKG parents are more concerned about these jargons. We look forward to meeting you once again and speaking about these aspects.
And then it's a good time to meet you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. And on behalf of all the parents, for the valuable information that you have given, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks.
You.